The Return to Work program in Malaysia is a very important program for injured persons, particularly for those with employment injuries or disease. This program, which is the first program of such kind in Malaysia, uses a biopsychosocial approach when handling cases with addresses the biological, psychological, and social components with regard to disability. A person with amputation, for example, you can see not only requires physical related restorations, but also help him with psychosocial aspect, such as getting adjusted with the loss of his limb, getting him mentally prepared to return to work, and educating the community and or his future colleagues on the importance of their support at the workplace, at his home, so that he only returns but retains at work. So the most important piece of the program Return to Work is the initial assessment process. From this process, the case manager will ask the question from the injured person to determine what limitation, maybe the physical capacity, maybe what the psychological aspects, and what's the other barrier or weakness that the case manager can help this injured workers or the person with the employment injury or disease to go back to works. There is from the initial assessment, the case manager will prepare the rehabilitation plan with the injured person, try to help the injured workers after we determine what the limitation that they have. Maybe limitation is not only what I mentioned before, only the physical aspect, where we need to look also the other aspect, the psychological and also social components. From the rehab plan, the case manager will monitor the progress of the rehab plan until we achieve the goal, the patient, the injured person go back to work. So I just like to give the example in this situation that, for example, people after the injury or disease, maybe they are no longer the same before the accident or disease. So in this situation, it's really important the role of the case manager to help these injured workers, especially to make sure they can still retain at the workplace. Just give you an example, prior to an injury or disease, he may have had to carry about 10 kilograms rice bags. And following the accident, disease or occurrence, he may have been told that he can only carry 2 kilograms with difficulty. However, with physiotherapy, after we refer case to the physiotherapy, he may have been told that he can only carry 2 kilograms with difficulty. With the physiotherapy, he may then be able to carry 8 kilograms, which is close to what he was doing previously. It is then again the case manager role to speak with the employers to negotiate for the job modification and tell them that he can now only carry 8 kilograms and may have to either split the load with his colleague or add to a task where he only carries 4 kilograms maybe. And those the administration aspect to top it up. To us, improving our injured person dignity through productivity or employment, and employment is the best form of the social protection. Under our Return to Work program, we want to encourage the injured person after the injury or disease to go back to work. And through this rehabilitation program, we have some incentive that we provide to the injured workers. For example, we have the rehabilitation allowance for those who have not received any cash benefit from the SOCSOs. And we also provide the case management counseling to the injured workers, and at the same time we send them to the private rehabilitation service providers. We don't charge them, that one is provided free to them. And for those that are staying quite far from the service providers, we also allow them to reimbursement the mileage claims. Yes.